Hey everyone, welcome back. Going to be building the 1/100th scale attack Tomahawk from Macross. This is a very iconic Destroid, very iconic design. It was actually used also in a game called Battletech. It was called the Warhammer. So I actually have two different kits of this one. I have this one, the 1/100th scale, and also the larger 1/72nd scale. So I'm just going to have some fun with this one. I want to paint it up in like an Arctic type design. And then the larger one down the road, I'm just going to use the regular colors. Okay, starting off with the splish splash here. Getting some soap suds on there, getting the mold release off the plastic. Giving you a little bit of seasickness there as well. Going to dry outside on the patio table. And just real quick and easy build. There's two sprues with this box set. Very easy to put together. Yeah, you're going to see some seams that I missed, but you know what? I'm not perfect, so I'm just going to do the best that I can. Okay, getting the pieces put together here, getting them cleaned up a little bit, mainly with the hobby knife and the sprue cutters. And then later on down the line, we'll bring out the sanding sticks and everything. So just going to use the Tamiya extra thin. Gonna get this on both sides of the pieces, and then use some clamps to hold it together. And I probably shot about 3 clamps across my basement, put them on there just because of the rounded surfaces. All right, going in with the Tamiya plastic putty. This is going to just going to start the process. Put some of this on there. I let it cure, and then pretty much overnight, let it sit there, and then work on sanding it down. Okay, like I said, it was a very easy build. And like I also said, yeah, you might see some seams. You know what? You're gonna see some seams, but for the most part, I got a lot of them covered up. Okay, right there, looking pretty good. Just gonna give you the overall size of what he's gonna look like here. Yep, that's your 1/100th scale there. Okay, getting the missile launcher glued on, and the spotlight is already attached to the other side there, so looking good so far. And you know what time it is. Time for the Stynylrez Black Primer. Okay, so the color scheme on this one, I really had this idea I want to do something Arctic. I know the iconic color for this is the same color brown that it's molded in, but I want to have some fun with it, so it's a little bit different. Okay, so the thing with the primers is once you get it on there, you can see if you still have any kind of steps in the putty. So using some different tools, this is a flexi sander here, just sanding it down a little bit more. I like to call those prime crimes when you see them after you put your primer on there, because it will show you all the crimes. Okay, so it's looking a little bit better there, and you can feel it with your finger as you pass over it. If you feel that step, it's time to sand it down just a little bit more. And then there's those clamps that, yeah, I think I had like maybe 3 of them. They were on the barrel of the weapons there. Just snapped off and flew right across my basement. So, fun times. Alright, sanded down about as much as I'm going to get it, so I'm just going to add a little bit more cement to it. And then after that's all done, we're just going to go back with the Stynylrez Black. Shaky camera there. And just going to hit those areas that we just sanded down. And you'll see it right away if you've done a better job with cleaning up those seams, because it'll show right through that primer there. But it's looking pretty good so far, so I'm happy with that. Yeah, I really can't wait to get my hands on my 1/72nd scale, because that's the one I'm going to take a lot more time with. It's probably going to be a 2-part series when I do that one, and then make it look nice and weathered. Alright, some Skaven Blade Dinge from Citadel. This is just going on as a heavy stipple. Just want to get as many areas coated as I can. I'm not going to go for an overall coat though. Gonna follow that up with some Dawnstone. Again, heavy stipple. And this is going to be your lighter colors for that Arctic type look. And it's going to look choppy, but that's on purpose. You'll see how that all comes together later. Okay, Vallejo model color white gray. Continuing the stipple there. And those are Army Painter dry brushes that I'm using. They're not those fancy Artist Opus ones, because I can't afford that. But they get the job done, so. Alright, going in with a little bit of color now. Vallejo model color Iraqi sand. Yeah, just want to add a little bit of color to this. I'm not trying to go over too much. So we're just going just a few spots here and there. Like you see there, there's no real pattern, just placing in different areas. And like I said before, it's gonna all come together. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add, I think it's one more color over this, and then we're gonna do a blending coat. And that color is Citadel Rust Gray. A little of a bluish tint to it there. And I wasn't even thinking any kind of like winter camouflage or anything. Just want to add a little bit of color. Alright, so for this blending coat here, just going to do a fine mist of color, very watered down. Just going to go over the entire model, and that's going to pull all those colors together. Okay. Yeah, that's one thing you really don't want to do. You don't want to mix the colors completely in your airbrush. Put in a little cup and then pour it into the cup. Alright, you can see that fine mist right there. And it's a little bleached out on camera just because it's a lot of light colors, but the idea is to put a fine mist over there so you eliminate all that little splotchiness, all those brush strokes from the stippling brush. It just pulls it all together. Yeah, and I gotta say, I had a lot of fun working on this model. This was always a favorite of mine. Back when I used to play Battletech. Hell, I had it when it was called Battle Droids. But yeah, it was always a favorite design. And of course, I knew Robotech before I knew Macross or Macross, however you want to say it. And yeah, they were featured in Macross as well. So a lot of fun with this one. All right, going in for the those missile covers with the Citadel Rust Gray. These little doors pop open and it's full of missiles. That's after 2 coats right there. Citadel Corn Red for that, I think it's red glass. I could be mistaken. But we're going to get in there and give it some color. There we go. Alright. Black Legion, Citadel Contrast. Just getting the those areas that are covered up there for the internal workings of the leg mechanisms. Alright, then we're getting the decals on there. Decals, decals, water slide transfers, whatever you want to call them. But for anytime you use them, you always want to use them over a gloss surface. Because once the decal dries, you're going to eliminate that silvering around it. Okay, while I'm waiting for some decals to dry, we're going to get the cannons with the Citadel Lead Belcher. I still love that name. Alright, now some of the decals, they kind of wrap around. So what you want to do is you want to use this microscale Macross. It's going to melt the decal. Okay, let's see that one right there. It's on a rounded surface, so it makes it harder for it to pull down. You put some of that Macross on there, it's actually going to bubble up a little bit, and then it's going to suck the decal down and let it conform. There's a couple areas that were a little bit rounded, so I went ahead and hit the other decals as well with it. Okay, some some detail painting. Okay, time for the oil wash. Just taking some artist oils with some odorless mineral spirits or white spirits, and spoilers, it's not odorless, it stinks. So just going to mix those together a little bit. Just going to make a wash. Now I do have some of the Tamiya panel line accent. I tried it on one side of this and I didn't like the results, so I just figured I'd make my own. I'm just going in there to some of the crevices and around some different areas, some of the raised surfaces, and just going to give it a light rust. Now the thing with these robot models or these Destroid models, scale is everything, so you got to be careful how much rust you're actually putting on there. I could argue that I probably put too much on those legs there. But in the end, it actually looks pretty good, so. Hey kids, it's time for some sponge chipping. Okay, so I'm going to be using these cross clamp tweezers. Danny over at Easy8 Online Painting Club, he likes to refer to these as Tachus clamps, because I kind of got him interested in using these. They're nice because you don't have to completely keep your hands squeezed together to keep that little piece of sponge in there. So what I'm doing, basically, I'm just sponging some rust gray over those decals to make it look like the paint has started to chip off from the emblems there. And once it dries and gets a matte coat, it blends right in, and yeah, it looks the part. There we go. Alright, then I'm taking this Vallejo Game Color Off-White. I'm doing the same thing on the legs and on these other decals. I'm not going nuts with them. I'm just doing a few little chips here and there, just to make it look like the paint's chipped off. How many times are we going to say chip? Alright, now we're going to use some Citadel Rhinox hide, and this is going to simulate rust chips. And this is another thing you have to be really careful with, because, yep, finger eraser. Because of the scale of these machines, you have to be really careful about how much chipping you actually do. It's too much is going to make it look way too cartoony. But you just want to try and any kind of sharp edge, go ahead and get some chips on there. Because obviously with weathering and damage, and scratches and all that, it's going to eventually take the paint off. And you can see those cannons on the head there. Those were painted up with some lead belcher while I was doing the big cannons on the arms. Okay, and can't forget the legs. Because here at Out of This World Models and Minis, we don't skip leg day. yeah, I'll say it again. I had a lot of fun building this kit, and the 1/72nd scale, that's going to get a lot of special attention. Like I said before, it's probably going to get the 2-part video treatment. There we go. And even if I feel that I've put too much on there, what I can do is I can always hit those chips with some off-white. And this is why you don't glue the whole thing together, because what I did was I pulled that other leg off so I can get the inside of the right leg. Using my noggin on that one. But yeah, I wanted it to look like this thing had been sitting out for a long time in the weather and in the environment. Yeah, if I had more time on this one, I would have made a stylized base for it. Mainly just a piece of styrofoam and done up with some cold weather type terrain. But yep, work schedule, video schedule, life schedule didn't mesh on this one, so I'm just going to finish up the model here and call it a day. Put them on my shelf and enjoy it. There we go. Liking it so far. And if you like it as well, just I gotta say this for the guys at work: smash that like button, and then yeah, give me a comment. Tell me what you think, and then if you know some people that either play Battletech or are fans of Robotech or Macross, yeah, share it with them. That way you too can do your part and spread the love for out of this world models and minis. Yep, can't believe it's gonna be almost 4 years I've had this channel going. So it's funny, I go back and I watch some of my older videos and it's like, ooh, that was terrible. I could be terrible now, you never know. But guess what, I'm having fun. Alright, so this leg I took off to get the inside, and I can tell you right now, I'm doing way too much chipping for the size of this model. I do go back and hit it with some of that off-white to kind of counteract some of those heavier chips. But a lot of stuff, when you're working on it, you don't realize it until afterwards. But just having some fun with this. There we go. Alright, I'm getting some scoring, some smoke effects on the ends of those cannons there. And I do end up getting the inside of the cannon, so you don't see the brown plastic there. And I think that's just Citadel Black Legion that I'm doing that with. Alright, time to glue them all together. Again, just using the Tamiya extra thin. And that means we are coming down to the wire on this one. Another one in the books, another one on the shelf. Just gonna get some details done here. I think some of them are gonna be done off camera, but you'll be able to see them in the final reveal. So just gonna keep on going with this until we're ready for that final reveal. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, please consider it. To all the new subscribers, again, thank you so much. I'm having so much fun, and I cannot wait for you to see more of my projects. Moving on here to the spotlight, I mixed some Vallejo Model Color white and some Liquitex white ink. I thinned it down with the white ink, and that's going to make it really smooth there. Just going to get that on there, and then some Thousand Suns blue. Boom. And then off camera I do a little bit more work on that. But like I said, we're getting down to the final reveal. So like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, all that YouTube stuff. And I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Hey, if you like the video, check out the selection on the left-hand side, subscribe on the right, and thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next one.